does it feel to be a major?
No,
How does it feel to be a major part of the CW family?
I mean, it's great. There are definitely worse families to be a part of. It's been exciting to get to play on the same network. To get to play three very, very different characters who, for some people, the best part to me is realizing that when I was playing Kai, oh, that's the guy who carried that. I had no idea. I watched one episode. And to now, hopefully, the same thing will happen to this character. It's great to play these interesting guys who are all in totally different situations and personalities, and to have the trust of Warner Brothers and the network to do these challenging roles that are so far from me.
Do you have to say, I think we're gonna miss the villain on Vampire Diaries? The first time villains died that I've been like,
It was traumatizing.
you really are dead.
Yes, his head is quite gone.
Quite gone. But apparently fans agree. You're up for a award.
Yeah, I guess people liked what I did, which, I mean, there's no better feeling than to hear directly from the fans. Like a nomination like that, where it's actually people voting because they were happy with that. It's very exciting.
How much did you love playing the character?
He's the best. Oh, he's nuts. He's absolutely out of his mind. No, it was. I had a blast playing Kai. He's so entertaining to me, and just his sense of humor is so unique and so funny. He could sit around and just make himself laugh, locked in a room. I mean, he literally did that for 18 years by himself. So he's a very special kind of person. The guy, he's so interesting. And the season arc too, getting to after the merge, getting to play a character who totally changed personalities, and there's no other story like that, where someone's personality, especially a sociopath, suddenly gets feelings and is struggling with it. It's very unique. So I had a blast this year.
So tell us about your new character. How very different?
He's quite different. Jake is, he's a good guy, first of all. That's the biggest difference. But he's sort of something of an introvert. He's very guarded, and he keeps to himself. And he's tough, and he's sort of, guarded is the best word to describe him, I think, because whatever he's been through in his life, it's led him to a place where he doesn't like to open up to people. And he doesn't say more words than he has to, and he keeps to himself. He's got a bad temper, but he keeps it under locks most of the time. But when he's stuck inside the Gordon, he's forced to either step up to the plate or sort of run and defend himself. It's very conflicting because he's not a leader by nature. He's a really good guy. He's a truly good person, but his first instinct is to protect himself. So he sort of wants nothing of the leadership that's sort of been thrust upon him. There's no other law enforcement inside. So he has to find a way to do what's right and what he feels he can do while still protecting himself and staying alive. And as the season goes on, he proves himself to be the hero that everybody needs.
How has the transition been for you as an actor going from Kai to this new character?
A bit bipolar. I was shot the pilot while I was shooting the last 2 episodes of Vampire Diaries. So I would be on set as Jake one day, and the very next day go and shoot as Kai. And it was a little disorienting. I never got them mixed up, or it was never confusing in that way, but just the characters are so different, and the styles of the shows are so different. It was sort of fun though. It felt a little crazy for a couple of weeks, but yeah, I mean, getting to jump from one character to another that is so far from what I've been doing is just, I mean, that's the greatest challenge, and it's part of why I love acting, is getting to try on different personas, embody and feel as somebody else, and having people be so different, so drastically different, that's the best gift as an actor for me.
What do you feel about the premise itself?
The premise itself?
Yeah, of the show.
I mean, I love outbreak stories. and the story is sort of one where it's in its summary, a disease breaks out, and we lock down the city in order to prevent the spreading of the disease. It's very clinical. It's very sort of scientific, and it's a law enforcement situation that we're sort of assessing as political moves. But then, when we really get into it, what it's really about is humans and people interacting under periods of duress, and you get really extreme responses out of these human beings because they're put in life-threatening situations. And it's a nice world to live in, and the characters are so vivid and so unique. So.
Did you use the characteristic of the Belgian version of your character?
Did I use stuff from him?
Yeah.
Our show, I have seen the Belgian show, and I love it. And obviously, our show respects it and is modeled completely on it. But our show doesn't insist on our characters behaving in the same exact way as those actors in those roles. So they may be the same or similar names in the very same circumstances, but how we as actors have interpreted the roles in the pilot episode alone. Now when they've written the season, the show has already moved in a very different direction because they're using the characters we've created as opposed to trying to replicate what was done before. So our show will deviate in a lot of ways from the other storyline, but the setup's the same, and now our show gets to take on its own life, which is very exciting.
Have you read scripts past the first episode? Because
Not
everyone
yet.
else was saying they haven't.
No. Obviously, Chris and Matt have because they created them. But we're supposed to get them within the next week, and we were all just talking yesterday. We're so hungry to get back into it. I feel so passionately about this show, and it's the most exciting thing to get to do is to do press for a show that you're so crazy about, because I can talk for hours and hours about it and not get sick of it. It's all right.
You could talk, but you can't.
I could, but I'm not allowed. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.